Hiking up the mountains in winter can be an extremely tedious job, but extremely rewarding and fun. Having the right equipment is always vital. However, there are so many companies out there that will try and make you spend top dollar for equipment that you can get a lot cheaper. In this video, we're going to go through my winter mountain hiking backpack and show you exactly all the money saving tips that I've got inside here. This is the backpack that we use for both summer and winter hiking, partly because the back of the actual rucksack itself has got everything that I need. It's extremely padded, so I can really fit it into my back. I really get a bit of breathability through the back, and it's nice and secure. It's not too rigid where it's going to hurt your back, or too rigid where it's going to highly support your back. It's just a great all-round medium bag. On the straps just here, you've got little loops going through the actual rucksack, just there. And this one that's attached there, I use them for my water bladder when I've got it up over my shoulder and I can sip it while I'm walking. However, you'll notice there's not a water bladder attached to this rucksack. Why? We'll explain that one further through the video. You've got a chest strap, which is just there and just there. You've got a waist strap, again, just there, nice, big, thick, durable waist strap. So that can really strap it to your back and you can really start making some effort moving up the mountain. You've got one big pocket just there with a securing strap just there. A zip front pocket just there. Now that's the whole front of the bag near enough just there. I don't really use that too much in winter. Although it is kind of plastic lined, it's not on the front and it's not really that waterproof. So I tend not to use that too much. I have had issues in the past where electronics have got a little bit wet. Not wet to the point where they're broken, just got a little bit wet. And me overthinking, don't like that. On the front, you've got your little paracords, so that you can tighten that really tight down, really get everything nice and snug and really secure it to your back. On this side, again, another really deep pocket all the way down the side with, again, another restraining strap. I tend to use this side for a big bottle of water and I can just attach it to the side. On the bottom, just nice clips. You can strap something to the bottom. This is just the quenchy version. It's 20 litres. I got it from Decathlon, very, very cheap, and it works. It does the job for me. But you'll notice you haven't got any weatherproofing sort of bag that can go over this. Hence, that is the first item that I'm going to pull out inside the backpack. You'll notice right at the top there, you've got a little zip up pocket and it's flappable just like that. And inside that little pocket, you've got this little clip. This little clip actually clip my car keys to and leave it in there. For some reason, and I don't know why, this is my winter backpack, but I have fly repellent in there. That's just left over for the summer, so I'll take that out just now. It's one of them where if I take it out now, I know for a fact I'm going to forget to put it back in. It's just always the way. We'll start off with this little tub. Now, as you can tell, behind me, our other passion is reptiles. So having these reptile live food tubs around just makes it beneficial for me. You can really seal it down, get it nice and secure, but there's also a load of breathing holes in there. I use that for my one of my power banks, because I do go for a lot of power when I'm up on the mountains. You tend to find in the colder weather your battery drains a lot quicker, and number two, if your phone is in and out of signal all the time, it's constantly trying to search for signal, that's going to drain your battery down an awful lot too. I always make sure I have at least two power banks. One, because I do a lot of filming up on the mountains with the phone, and number two, it's just better to be safe than sorry. I use my phone for navigation a lot of the time. I have my cables in there, and I smoke an e-cig, so I've got my e-cig liquid in there as well. That all just stays in there. It keeps it nice and dry and ventilated, so it's not going to condensate in the different heating conditions up there. Next one, most importantly, especially for Snowdon, which if you're new around here, we love Snowdon. We're always up and down there in all different conditions, and Snowdon's just our little passion. In this little bag just here, again, a cheap £20 pair of mini spikes. These go on the bottom of your boots and they basically add a little bit of extra traction. Now, granted, if you're new to mini spikes or crampons of any sort, these are only really good for freshly fallen soft snow. If you get the sort of compact snow that's been there for ages, they tend to get quite tangled up quite a lot. And if you watch one of my previous videos, I actually broke my knee on Snowdon solely because of an older pair of these. I bought the wrong size. You can see on the back these say M for medium. I tried to stretch these over an extra large boot, the back come off and they basically caught up with each other and ended up falling over and breaking, and yeah, I ended up hurting myself. So just keep it in mind, it's always better to have these because the changing conditions on top of the mountains can be mind-blowing. They pack away really, really snug, just there we go. Really small, and you can just fit that in the bottom of your bag. It weighs nothing, and it's an absolute lifesaver. It's caught me out a few times where I've had to use them coinciding with them pair of socks, an extra pair of socks. It's always a must. You must always have an extra pair of socks. But on the flip side to that, you must also have something to put wet clothes in. I've got just a normal bog standard carrier bag. I keep my dry clothes in there, and then when I need to change out, I keep my wet clothes in there. It's a great little tip and advice. Let's see what else we've got in the little bag of wonders, shall we? What? Just a little tarpaulin sort of mat just to sort of sit on. If I need to sit down, have a minute, if I want to put my crampons on my feet or sort out my socks or whatever the case may be. It's always nice to have a little dry seat to actually sit on. On the flip side to that, how many times have I said that today? It's always wise to have some waterproofs, both waterproof pants and waterproof tops. Again, the weather can change instantly on top of Snowdon. If you saw my last Snowdon video, you'll know why. You'll know everything that I mean in that one scenario. Big thick thermal gloves. I've got these, and I've got another set of waterproof ones. I have got a snood. I've never wore the snood yet because I've always got a coat that goes up and round, but I've always got it just in case I get caught out, say I've fallen, I've hurt myself, and I just need to wrap up one, but I can't physically move. It's just better to have that safe and sound. Waterproof pants. Again, we've been through that. That is an absolute must. This one is important. Everybody should have one of these kicking around in the bottom of their bag. And no, it's not safety first aid kit. It's a head torch. In the winter, we don't get that much daylight hours. And if you're doing a Snowdon hike and it's really bad weather, it could take you like 7 hours to do it. So I've always got a head torch with me, just in case. Woolly hat. Again, layers are your best friend when you're definitely hiking the mountains in the winter. Now, remember I said we don't have a bag cover for the bag. It's going to get wet. I went and got one, dead cheap, from, again, it was Decathlon, I think, or Go Outdoors. Just a little 20-litre one. And this one is quite good because it just opens up. It's called the Carrymore Rucksack Rain Cover. That's all it is. But it pulls out. I've used this quite a few times. It's both works well with the bag and against the bag. But it just pulls out like that. And the actual bag stays attached to the rucksack itself. It's got a little cord on it so you can tighten it around. But the general gist is put it over the bottom of your bag, hook it over the top and tighten it down. That works absolutely perfect. And it folds away into this tiniest little cover you can possibly imagine. It really has come in handy a few times. The problem I've got with this rucksack is, can you see where the straps actually meet the bag itself? There you go. But see that? There's nowhere for the bag to actually hook over onto. So I've ended up having to tie the power cord that tightens it down around the loop of the backpack. And that seems to work really, really well. In the bottom, what's this? Remember I said the mini spikes that were a medium? That's them ones. These ones are my extra large ones, the newer ones that I bought, and they are working a treat. The reason I've got the mediums is because last time I went up Snowdon, or last time I went hiking in potential snow, I took the partner with me and she's a medium. So I thought, better safe than sorry, I'll carry them as well. They weigh next to nothing and they don't take up too much space. As you can tell, all this stuff, it can all be compact down really, really tight. In the bottom of the bag, this is something that a lot of people would never even think about, even me included. I got given one and I thought, wow, that's actually going to come in really handy. Now, I did a big hike, Chapel Currig, whatever it is. It's the Joe Brown shop in Snowdonia, up near Betsy Coed sort of area, Mulseabod sort of area. And I walked basically from there up a load of mountains up to the Glidders. Walked back down the Glidders, back down the Devil's Kitchen, and I was like, whoa. And then I saw a bus stop and I thought, oh, do you know what time's the bus come? I had a look. Wow. It's a bus timetable for the bus that takes you from the Ogwen Valley to various other places. We all know about the Snowdon bus that takes you from Llanberis up to Penny Pass. But what about from the Ogwen Valley back to Chapel Currig or back to Betsy Coed? You never know if you're going to need it. It's just because I didn't know that I was going to need it that day. So I've always got that just chucked in the bottom of my bag. To be fair, I need to see if that's out of date, to be honest. But, oh well. I've got a bag of crisps and a leftover bottle of Fanta because I have just been up Snowdon. They were just left in here. And this is another important one. Very important. Bring your litter home with you from off the top of the mountains. It's just vitally important. Do it. And then this is me cleaning out my rucksack. Now, inside the rucksack, you've got this big pocket inside. Now, it's all covered in this waterproofy looking material. It's not waterproof. Don't let it fool you.
It's sort of drizzle proof, but that's about it. Inside here, we've got an array of different things. Now me, over the winter, I put a bit of weight on and me sort of knee starts to play up a little bit on the big hikes now. So I've got a little knee brace. I know my body and I know what I'm going to need. So I've always got that in handy. Again, it weighs absolutely nothing. It takes up no space at all and it just fits in. Why not? What else? Oh. First aid kit. Now, this is different to anybody else's first aid kit because I just go off the first aid that I know that I potentially might need. I've got stuff in here that I don't need through winter, but I've got my stuff for winter and summer. So I've got random pain relief. Again, just in case my knee starts playing up or I've had a fall and broke my knee, the pain relief just masks it that little bit so that you can get to safety. Lip balm. You can never have enough lip balm. It really does work when you're on the mountains because when you're breathing in, you don't really notice it, but your lips start to get chapped within an hour of the hike. There's nothing worse than doing the whole thing and you're not enjoying it as much because you're a bit, It works perfectly fine. Here, an emergency poncho. Again, I'd pick that up from Go Outdoors. Just a good bog standard emergency rain cover in case I need it. That's it, just in case I need it. I've got tissue in the bottom of there. I've got painkillers. I've got plasters. I've just got loads of bits and pieces and I keep adding to it. So I'm going to have to get a bigger bag because that bag's not the best. Now, what's in the bottom? Sandwich bags. Just bog standard clear sandwich bags. If your socks get wet, you can chuck them in here. If your electrics need to be a bit drier, you can chuck them in here. If I want to pick up a stone from off the top of the mountain for some stupid little terrarium build that I'm doing, I can store it in there. Absolutely perfectly fine. A lighter, just in case. I don't smoke, I don't potentially need it, but this one has got a little light on the bottom of it. Ooh. And that might be the meaning between, let's say I go up a mountain, the weather's changed, I go into a storm shelter and there's a fire there ready, but it needs to be lit. I've always got a lighter because that won't work too well on its own when you're up there and it's minus 20 degrees Celsius. But if you hold that in your hand just for a few seconds, you're going to get a little spark, and that could be the difference between life and death on top of a mountain. Absolutely perfect. What else makes spare e-cig battery, just in case I need it? What else makes hiking more enjoyable? Dry feet. If you've gone round and you've got wet feet, your best friend, talcum powder, baby powder. It's amazing how well this stuff works. That little tub cost me £1 and I've used it every single time I've been up. Say I want to use my phone to check navigation but I've got wet hands, just literally a sprinkle, do that, you've got dry hands. Magically, just dry hands. Granted, if you get back to your car and you sit there and you've got your shoes off and you're sprinkling it all over your feet and you end up getting it all over your car. Trust me, I'm trying to sell my car at the minute and I've got baby powder absolutely everywhere and I'm struggling to get it out. Last but not least, you saw it on the side of the rucksack, just strapped in, just there, my hiking pole. Now, I'll be honest, I don't tend to use it that much at all. I bought it because I thought, you know what, I'm going to be a bit safe and just have it there in case. It folds down dead small. Guess how much this hiking pole was? It extends to 1.8 meters, 6 feet. It's got a little strap just there. It's comfortable grip. It's got a really big head on it so I can really grab hold of it if I need to, or it's just really, really handy. A £5. Decathlon. Why is Decathlon stuff so cheap? And it works. It's lightweight, weighs literally next to nothing, and that works. Among all this, I've got various other safety equipment. I've got a whistle in case I need it. I've got a high visibility coat on my actual hiking winter coat. I've got high visibility strips all over it. And this is my winter bag. This is what I use to hike up Snowdon in the winter. On top of this, I'll have a bag full of fruit and nuts, just the dried stuff. I'll have something like a grenade bar, just in case I need that little kick just to get me going again. I'll have a bottle of Lucozade and a bottle of water. It's amazing the difference that they both have with each other. A lot of people recommend don't have carbonated drinks. Lucozade does me. I don't know why, I don't know anything, but if you're getting up there and you're like, why do I do this? Poof, mouthful of Lucozade, poof, you're off. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're new around here, please subscribe. Oh, I forgot to mention why you don't use one of these water bladders when you're climbing up Snowdon in the winter. Solely because if you're sucking away on that, it freezes inside there and then you're stuck for water then. The only way to get water is to completely open the front and drink it.